that looked at the evidence. Show me the evidence that there was human shielding by Hamas. So far as I know, remember, I'm limiting myself to a separate category. I'm not saying what Israeli government officials alleged, what the Israeli military alleged, what various organs that repeat what the Israeli government and the military say. I look at what most people do when they're trying to assess the factual situation in combat zones. They look at what reputable human rights organizations say. And there is, so far as I know, and as I said, I went through thousands and thousands and thousands of pages and years and years and years of my life, now in 4 decades, going through it. There isn't evidence of that.
What are your thoughts on the Abraham Accords? And do you think that matters, and is that still a possibility, or are those doomed now?
I think we should, in terms of what's unfolding now, we should try to place them in the context. As I told you earlier, after Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982, the Palestinian leadership was forced into exile, and the Palestinian people were left to their own devices. When I say the Palestinian people, I mean the West Bank and Gaza. They were left to their own devices. And now, in the present situation, the Palestinians realized that what the United States and Israel were doing was trying to create agreements and settle the conflict outside them. So Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, they would all make agreements with Israel, and the Palestinians in Gaza, as well as the West Bank, but right now we're focusing on Gaza, would be left to languish and die. So I would speculate that this attempt at what's called normalization between the Arab states and Israel was perceived by Gazans as one more nail in the coffin. That it meant that the whole quote-unquote Israel-Arab conflict would be resolved except for the Palestinian people would be left to die. So I think that was a factor in what happened.
Okay, I guess last question then. Is there any way forward for peace, or is this gonna get a lot nastier? Like, what do you see ahead? I know you're not a clairvoyant, but for the next 5 years, are things gonna get worse, or is there any way to resolve it?
Well, right now we're entering the stage of the third great expulsion. There was the expulsion in 1948, about 750,000 Palestinians were expelled. 1967, between 300,000 and 400,000 Palestinians were expelled after the 1967 war. And now about 1 million or more Palestinians in Gaza will be expelled That's my guess. It does not, at this point, seem that the international community